You got to follow me a little bit. So, welcome everyone to the final workshop for the 4th Annual Business Plan Competition here at Foothill College. I know many of you expected to have the workshop yesterday. I was not doing too well, so we moved it today. And we have about a half a dozen people that showed up this morning. So I decided that we will do this for all of you out there that want to see what we're going to talk about today, so that if you need some help this last week, you'll know where to find it and where to get it. So to start off with, I'm just going to review the last email that you received, which is discussing the part about making sure before you submit your plan that you have somebody else proof and edit your plan. This is very important in this competition. The judges, if there are grammatical errors, sentence structure errors, and just poor grammar, they probably will not even read it. So make sure you have somebody proof your plan. All right? That's going to be one of the critical things. Be passionate in your plan about what you're doing. If you don't show passion in your writing, the judges may not even qualify it. All right? Next slide, please. Okay, so submitting your plan, and I'm going to go over this, and then I'm going to discuss some of the final things that we need to know when we get into the final slide here. Make sure in your subject line, your plan has your last name and the name of your business in the subject line. Okay, make sure you have your last name and your name of your business in the subject line when you submit your plan. Your plan must be submitted in a PDF file. Your Excel spreadsheets may stay in Excel. Okay? We don't want 20 pages of Excel. You break it down, make sure you print it out to 3 or 4 pages, make sure you set the parameters so when it gets sent in, there'll only be the 3 or 4 pages of exhibits of Excel spreadsheets for your financials. 10 pages maximum. If there's more than 10 pages, now the financials exhibits are separate. But make sure that when you submit these that they're legible, so you test it. You test your PDF file to make sure that you have 10 pages, not 11, because that last page will be deleted, regardless if it's the most important page of your plan in your financial summary. We will delete it. I was asked about table of contents and title page. That does not count against your 10-page count, and you should have that. You should have a logo on your cover prepared by Glenn Violett and Violett's Coffee Shop, right? And with a logo. That's all you need on the front cover. The table of contents should break down so we can find the executive summary, which should be first, your product, your service, anything else that we're looking for we can find in the table of contents, okay? Make sure, and I'm going to go back to it, have someone edit your documents, print them out, make sure they look okay to you before you send them in. All right? Many of you understand that. Okay? Don't forget the final deadline for submitting your plan is the 19th at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're somewhere in the world and it shows up at a different time, as long as it's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't wait till the last minute, because I can guarantee you 100% that if you try to submit it at 8:59, you're going to have problems and you will not be eligible to participate. I would send it in the sooner the better, starting this week, because now you have instructions of how to send it in, your plan. That was the most important thing I want you to take away from this today, is how to submit it, making sure that you have someone proof and edit your plan. I mean, that is so critical. All right? And if you have any troubles during this week, okay, you have till the 17th to email myself, talk to Professor Felder. You can still go to Ben Dubin's class Tuesday night, ask him questions. If you still have questions about issues in the business plan in and of itself, we have the sample plans you can go look at least for ideas. Rhonda Abrams has many books out there on how to write a business plan in a day, taking your passions to profits. Those are books that we have in the Entrepreneur Center that you can take a look at. Might be able to help you. Okay? So most of you should have your plans almost complete. All right. The 5 areas one more time. Your executive summary. That's a summation of everything. Okay? And I'm going to go back to the 10-page max. You can have 7 pages if you wish. You don't have to have the full 10 pages. Alright? If you're trying to squeeze things in, that may not be the right thing to do. Okay? So if you have 10 pages, you're in good shape. No more than. Executive summary should be no more than a half a page to 3/4 of a page. And I'm just giving you some general guidelines, unless you really need to explain something from the plan in the executive summary. Alright? Your product and service, you should be able to explain that in 1 or 2 pages. Right? 1 or 2 pages. And I know you heard this over and over again, but being concise and to the point is the most important part of this. Number 3, your marketing strategies. Many of you attended Susan's workshops, have come to me and asked questions about marketing. Dennis Wong, Doug Felder, Ben Dubin. We want to know who your customers are. The judges are going to look for that to make sure that you've done your research. So it's just not pie in the sky. My customer is everyone. No, your customer is not everyone. You identify who they are. If they're everyone, you better be able to explain why it's everyone. Okay? The management, we understand we have a wide range of people that are entering this competition. Some of you are 18, 19 years old, you're using your business plan and you're condensing it down that you had a passion about that you wrote in one of your classes. And that's okay. And that's okay. As long as you show a passion about it and you've done your research. It's not going to meet the same standard as the in-class business plan. Many of you are students that are a little bit older, like 21, 22, and have worked for a few years and have a lot of experience. So this thing is open to everyone. Okay? Make sure that when you talk about management, if you're not, I always use this as the example. I can be great in marketing and financing a coffee shop, but I don't know how to make coffee. So that would be one of my team gaps in my management strategy, is that I need to find somebody to come in that knows how to make coffee that can be one of my team members. Right? And remember your target audience, you're pitching for somebody to help fund your business plan. Right? Okay? Then the financials, we've gone over those over and over again. I sent out Eric Zellhart's information. BizStats.com, the Business Plan Pro, has many examples of what the cost of goods are, how to develop a sales forecast. And I'm not going to go back and tell you you have to go out and start reviewing all this, because you should have already done this. Most of you should have already gone out, found out who your competitors are, everything like that, to build your sales forecast. You might have some problems with cost of goods. Don't be afraid to explain that in your financial summary. Okay? Don't be afraid to explain some things in your financial summary that you could not figure out in your sales forecast or your income statement. They're going to look at those, and they're going to be very important. And the idea is summarizing your financials. For an example, if you need $100,000 to start your business, then how are you going to pay that back? How long is it going to take you? So they're going to look at your sales numbers, right? And so in there, you're going to have to develop that strategy within your financials to explain the return on investment. And make sure that you do your homework. If you're restaurants out there, places that have a lot of competition, what's going to separate you from others? Especially, how are you going to save money or whatever it might be within your financial summary, right? And then your 3 to 4 pages of Excel spreadsheets, which is your sales forecast, income balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. Okay? Now, with that, I'm going to say the last things. Be concise with every area of your plan. Okay? Be concise and to the point. Show passion in what you're doing. If you don't show passion, just writing da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, you're not going to get the scores you need. I believe you were sent out the rubric the judges are going to judge you on. I believe all of you have received that. If you haven't, let me know. It was sent out last week. The judges have received those, and they're ready to start receiving the plans on the evening of the 19th. Hopefully within 3 weeks, all the plans will be read and evaluated. And as you know, these judges, many of them, we have many guest judges, but we have actual judges that are in the business field that are going to go out and they're going to look directly at your plan and do some research on it to see if it's realistic. Okay? That's the last. Be realistic in your plan. Don't sit there and say you're going to make $2 million your first year unless you know you're going to make $2 million your first year. Right? And you better be able to justify that. Because most of you aren't looking at that kind of number. If you are, then maybe you should come talk to me before the 17th, or Professor Drake. Professor Drake has seen many of you, so if you have a couple of questions left on your financials, please make an appointment with her. She'll be available the rest of the week, but she'll only give you 15 minutes to discuss your financials. You need to be specific with your numbers, what questions you have. Don't be, well, what's a cash flow statement? You better know what that is by now, okay? Statement of cash flows. You better know what an income statement is. You better know what a balance sheet is. You better know what a sales forecast is. I had one question this morning about